I'll be your God. I'll take care of you. You have nothing to fear. You'll be in my hand. It was simple. With Christ, it was if you will believe. This is what we've offered. This is what my Father and I are. This is the offer. If you'll believe, then you'll accept it. And you'll repent. Turn away from your sin. We got eternal life for you. We'll clean you up. We'll take your stuff away. We'll take you away. Take the sin away from you. You don't have to live like this anymore. It wasn't complicated. The problem is man never wanted to give up self. Come on, man never wants to give up. He wants to have his own way as part of it. So people claim, you see it all over the news. People who obviously are living sinful lives, and they claim to be Christian. They claim salvation all over the place. But there's no witness. There's no evidence. There's nothing that shows it's there. And we have to be careful because growing up, whether they like it or not, we've seen a lot of it right in the midst of everybody calling themselves a church. They could put on the clothes, put on the show, walk out there, and they weren't living for God any more than the man next door who didn't even pretend. It was just a show. It was just a lifestyle. But they do this because if they put on Christianity, it opens a lot of doors for them. It gets them accepted in a lot of places they wouldn't be accepted if they just admitted who they are. But you can tell who's real and who ain't because when the going gets tough. Come on. The saying is when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Well, when the going gets tough and they're not real, you ain't got nothing to hold on to. You start coming apart. Things start falling down and collapsing around you because there is nothing to hold on to. There's no basis. There's no foundation under it. See, the question that came to me, has he really found you? So he came looking for me. Has he found you? Why? Just because you say you have it doesn't mean you got it. It doesn't mean that you got it. There's more to it than a lifestyle. I can come in, you can go into any church, any religion, and say you accept what they do, not believe it at all. It's not part of you. Mentally, I'll go through and be what you're doing. And you mentally go in and put on, you can go in and you're going to be a Hindu now, and you're going to wear the robes and do all the things they do as part of their worship, or you're going to be whatever religion, pick one. And you put it on and you can go through all the motions and look and act just exactly like them. Even in your mind, try to be like them. But your heart has never taken part of it. You've never been part of it. What did Christ say? When the end comes, we're going to be people come, I said, I never knew you. I never knew you. You were never part of me. Oh, yeah, but I did this, I did this. Yeah, you did, but you were never part of me. I never knew you. Why? Well, there's more to it than going through the motions. We got to be careful. It's easy for us to get caught up because we know so much. We've been taught since we were little, and it's ingrained into us. It's easy for us to get caught up in it and go through the motions and not really be part of it. Not really have salvation. Oh, but I do this, and I do this, and I don't do it. But does God really control your heart? Does he really control your mind? Come on, there's going to be changes. If he's in charge, there's going to be changes. Whether we like it or not, the self stuff's going to have to start seeping out the door. And it won't continue for 25 years with the same self, being the same problem. If we're giving it to God, it's going to go away. He's going to take it away. We're going to let him. We're going to want him to. We're going to have progress. In 10 years, I won't be the same person I was 10 years ago. I will have moved up and moved on, gotten stronger and closer. Otherwise, there's a problem. Come on, God. If God's in charge, he doesn't leave you where you were. That's not how it works. That's not how God does things. And you can't just decide, I'm a Christian today. It doesn't work that way. He comes looking for you. What do you mean he comes looking for you? Well, Christ told Nicodemus, John 3:16-21. For God so loved the world He gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute, because we have a little bit of problem with some of this stuff. The world wants saved from something. What they want saved from is themselves. They are the problem. When we're in sin, we are the problem. He that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. For this is the condemnation, that the light is come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. For everyone that doeth evil hateth light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. But he that doeth truth cometh to the light, so that his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in God. See, when Christ comes and he offers you salvation, and he shines a light on, here's your real situation. This is you. Come on, if he doesn't do that, you can't get saved. You can't reach out and accept salvation. If he doesn't shine the light on and show you where your real problem is, this is the real you. Now, this is what I've got to offer. What's the problem? The problem is, for those who want it, Lord, I don't want to be here no more. This is me. They accept it. This is me. I don't want this no more. I want what you have to offer. Clean me up. Come on. And they have no problem with the light, because the light's going to help them get cleaner and cleaner and closer and closer. But those who are happy in their sin, they want what they're doing. They want self. Come on, it says they don't like the light. They like the darkness. They don't want to expose what's them. They don't want to accept that. This shines on what they're doing. You can't get salvation if he doesn't come through the light. He comes looking for you. If he doesn't come shine light on it, you can't in your heart truly accept it, because you can't. It's not a mental thing. It's a heart change. So Christ comes along, and he told Nicodemus, he told some of the other ones, he said, hey, this isn't something you just do. You can only get this through me. Through what God has, he said, he told them in John 14:6, I am the way, I'm the truth and the life. No man cometh to the Father but by me. I made a sacrifice for you. I'm making it. In their case, he hadn't even made it yet. Making a sacrifice for you, and when I get done, it's going to be what you need. But you got to want it. You got to want change. You got to want right. In John 15:16, he told them, you have not chosen me. I have chosen you. Come on, we get into this thing, well, I'll just decide I'm a Christian today, and I'm a Christian. We better be careful. This is where a lot of people get into trouble, because they make mental decisions in their heart. They never, ever stopped and committed their heart to God. They never, ever really turned it over to him. Then they sat and fight battle. Why am I having a struggle? Well, you never actually gave it to him. Come on, there's more to this than just a mental decision. This is a heart decision. That's why God has to talk to you. That's why Christ has to come looking for you. Hey, now look, I'm showing you, I'm exposing to you. I'm taking a moment here for you personally. This is your condition. And that's when you can have your opportunity. Well, Brother Emerson used to tell us, and I don't remember the guy's name, but he had a man in the congregation when I was growing up. He said there was a man who rejected God, and rejected God, and rejected God. Would not accept it. And God gave him many opportunities. Later in life, he comes back begging Brother Emerson, pray that God will talk to me again. I know what I need, and I can't get there. Because I can't get my heart to the right place, because God won't talk to me. He never did get right. He knew he never got right.
Us young people used to go sing to him on Sunday afternoon, and he'd be laying there in his bed, and
be careful with this and we play with it. Brother Matt's given us his testimony several times. You knew how it was growing up. You came to a point, at some point, you knew what you needed to do. But it didn't happen for a while. Good while. And then there came a point where you wanted it, and God wasn't talking to you. You knew what you needed to do, but it didn't matter if you got down and prayed, he wasn't here. Because I've given you a chance, and you weren't listening to what I told you. Now you're going to wait till I'm ready to talk to you again if I'm ever ready to talk to you. This isn't something we just decide. He comes looking for us. This is real. He comes looking for us. He will come and talk to your heart, and you'll know when he's talking to your heart. There's no fooling around. We're not talking about some big emotional feeling, and I can't hardly move, and I'm all shaking and sweating and crying. You may have no emotions at all. Just have a clear mind. Okay, I'm telling you again. This is your turn. I'm offering it to you. But if you're going to come to me, you got to put all of it aside. I'm not telling you give up this and give up this. I'm saying give up you. Let me be your God. Then we'll decide what has to change. The problem is most of the time, most of us don't want to do that.
That's why I keep warning ones that's been raised in church. You've got a mindset, we already know what to do.
Yes.
But unless God is tugging at your heartstrings, even after you claim you've been saved, because you're still in the flesh. The flesh still was what it was.
And I'll be honest, in my mind, it's harder for people who grew up knowing it all their life. Because you live the lifestyle.
Salvation is not in a lifestyle.
It's not a lifestyle. And it's hard because, well, what do I have to change? Well, it's actually you have to give up. But I live right, and I do this, and I don't do this, and I do this, and I never do this. I have never done this. Yeah, but have you given up you? He can call you to do anything he wants you to do, and you're willing and ready to go. Nobody said you would like it or be happy with it all the time, but you're willing and ready to go. We have a hard time getting there. Well, yeah, I'll live the lifestyle. Yeah, I'll do this, I'll do that. Well, okay, but I want you to give up this hobby, this fun, this entertainment, this. I want you to give these things up and put your time here.
This way of thinking. I want you to give up this way of thinking.
There you go. Especially if you're a person who's caught up in different things. I remember a few times I had a couple people that I had to do some work for and work with who were very caught up in conspiracy theories, and they enjoyed being caught up in them. And it was hindering their salvation. It literally was hindering their faith. And they were talking about something to me once, and I said, look, you've got to put that aside and start trusting God, or you're never going to get anywhere. Whether you like it or not, you need to quit listening to that, quit having anything to do with it, don't think about it, put your mind on things God and trust Him. And even if that's true, does it matter to you? Oh, but it doesn't matter to you personally. Well, no. Then trust God. Leave that alone. The devil's just got your mind all tied up, and you enjoy that. To you, you think you actually enjoy it. And it's hindering you. And we have a hard time putting self, I'm going to live for God. Well, but I don't have time for this. Well, I can make time for you. I mean, God said, that ain't a problem. I can trim out how much time, what do you want to get rid of? So you'll have time for me. Come on. Every one of us. I tease my wife every now and then. She'll say she's busy. I say, you want me to help you reorganize your schedule? We can make you not busy. Well, no. Yeah. Because every one of us have things that we do that we could give up if we needed more time. If we wanted to give up more time. We got things we can do. And God knows that. But we still have a hard time giving up self. And really giving it to Him where it's yours. If that's what you want me to do, you just let me know and it's yours. We have a hard time with it. He comes looking for us. He knows. See, we have a problem with this, but He knows the heart. He knows when you're listening. And he's faithful. Everyone gets at least one opportunity. There never was a promise that you'd get more. But everyone gets an opportunity. And he knows your heart. And he'll come. And he'll find a time in your life. At least once, usually many times. Because he's very faithful and very merciful. Unless you're just of a heart and mind that he knows you're never going to accept it. And he'll find a time in your life, whether it's when you're healthy, when you're sick, when you're in a really bad time, when you're going through mourning, whatever. He'll find a time when he can get a hold of you. He can get your attention. And then he'll talk to you right down where you live. To me, right down where I live, and say, hey, I really want you to live for me. I really want you to live for me. Are you ready to give up? Are you ready to give up everything and just live for me? Do whatever I want. He comes looking for us. He comes looking for us. Oh, but hey, when we're out in sin, when we're enjoying the world, when we're in the midst of having our fun, as we like to think of it, it's not much that we're out there, oh man, I just had a great party. Yeah, I think I'll be a Christian. Come on, that's not where it's at. Your mind isn't even there. Your heart isn't even in a place to do that. Man, I'm having all this fun and I'm in all this sin, and yeah, I think I'll just stop and be a Christian. God, you need to forgive me. I want to be a Christian right now. Your heart isn't even prepared to a place where you could accept it if you did want to. Because it's a real commitment. It's a real, they used to tell you, count the cost. Don't play with it, count the cost. If you're going to give your heart to God, it's a real thing. It's deeper than just a surface, yeah, I'll live for you, God. Okay, now I'm a Christian. I'll put on this coat. Well, it's not convenient next week because I want to do this and this and this, and it's going to interfere with what I know I need to do. But I'll put the coat back on. Come on, that's how a lot of people want. If he really found you, you ain't living like that. If he found you, there's a bigger witness than that. Well, we've seen. This is what Brother Matt's told us before too, and we've seen it in our life. People who come in from out in the world who never knew Christianity. And they get saved. And God turns them around and cleans them up and restores families or takes away habits and addictions and cleans things up. They don't seem to have near as much problem as the churchies to really give it to God. They're the ones who come in out of the blue. Oh, I was praying and reading my Bible and God showed me I need to quit doing this or I need to start doing this. It's like, well, I haven't heard that from many of the people who grew up here for 20 years. Why didn't he just told you to do something? But somebody who's new has been here 6 months and God showed me this and God told me this. Come on, because they really give it to him, and are we really giving him money? I mean, I heard somebody testify once. I was in my almost 30. I didn't really know if I was ever saved or not. I always lived the same way. Yeah, I wanted to live right now, but was I really saved? Did you really give him 100% all? Well, if you have that question, he'll put you to a test and let you find out for yourself. He'll show you yourself. He's faithful, especially if he knows you're seeking him. He'll show you if you're really giving it all to him or if you're holding back a whole bunch for you and putting the coat on for him. He called the disciples. The disciples, he went and found them at the sea where they were working. They were not looking for him, out hunting for Christ. Come on, they weren't in the town searching through the alleys and the byways. Hey, where's the Messiah? Where's the Messiah? We're looking for him. No, they were out doing their thing. He came up and said, hey, I got some honest hearts here. Hey, guys, want to follow me? You want to do this thing? I'm offering it to you. Do you want it? Look, if we want salvation, we've got to do exactly what they did. They put down their nets, turned around, and walked away and followed. They just put everything down and walked away and followed him. Well, what about their nets and all that stuff? They gave it up for him. Their whole life changed. Then he went into another town. And there was this little short dude. Kids like to sing about him. Man, he couldn't be right. He was a tax collector. He couldn't be a good guy. And this little guy heard about, man, there's this guy who's causing a stir, and he's all over the place. I'm going to go check him out. I want to see what this guy is. Everybody's talking about this Jesus dude. I want to go check him out. Well, man, there's a big, huge crowd. I can't see. I'm going to climb up a tree and see if I can see him from up there. Oh, he did. He got up in the tree so he could see. And Jesus came looking for him. When he came looking for Zacchaeus, Zacchaeus wasn't able to get out and find Christ. He didn't even know what Christ had to offer. But Christ went looking for him because he knew where the honest heart was. He knew the heart. He knows who's at a place where they can make a decision, good or bad, in their life. When Jesus came to that place, he looked up and saw him and said, Zacchaeus, make haste to come down, for today I must abide at your house. I need to talk to you, Zacchaeus, and I got to go to your house. And he made haste and came down and received him joyfully. And they saw it and they all murmured, well, he's going to go with a man that's a sinner. Oh, he's going to the sinner's house. Oh, this is awful. And Zacchaeus stood and said to the Lord, behold, Lord, the half of my goods I give to the poor. If I've taken anything from any man by false accusation, I restore it fourfold. And Jesus said, this day salvation come to this house, for as much as he's also the son of Abraham, for God, the Son of God, or the Son of Man, has come to seek and to save. That's which is lost. That's what I came for. I came to look for those who are lost, who would have an opportunity, who would take salvation. You all think he's a sinner. I knew this man's heart was ready. He's tired of living that way. But what did he give up? Well, let's see, I'm going to take half of everything I got and just give it to the poor. I know at least half of what I got I should have never had. I got it wrong. And then if I cheated anybody, I'm going to give them 4 times back. That's a change. That's a pretty heavy change pretty quick right now. I can make it all in just a few seconds to make that decision. But yet God goes, well, I want you to live for me. Now, next weekend we're going to have a revival. I'm inspired pastor here to invite somebody in and we'll have services. Yeah, but Lord, I got this event planned. I was going to go here and do this, and I got this planned, and I was going to do this, and my relatives are coming in, and we were going to do this, and well, you just decide what's more important. Come on, we're saved. He found us. Did he make a change? If he made the change, there's going to be a change. And the change is going to be for him, not for us. Not that there won't ever be extenuating circumstances where something has to be done, but it won't be the norm. Come on, it's mostly going to be for God because that's the change. We change to live for him. Did he really find us, or are we just putting on a coat going through the motions? Because if he found us, we're not going to be the same person we was. He's going to be the primary importance.
And one thing the Lord showed me when I was starting one weekend was something, should I do this, do the other? And it's like the Lord just spoke to me and said, in the light of eternity, what's most important?
What's going to matter when you're on your deathbed? The fact that you had a family reunion, or the fact that you and some of your friends went shopping because you had already planned to, or I went and got help for my soul. I was able to encourage somebody else who was really in a hard time and help lead them to the Lord. Which one's going to matter? Which one's going to matter? Okay, remember the guy that Christ put mud on his eyes, told him to go to the pool of Siloam and wash his eyes? And the man just listened, did what he was told. Christ told him, you go. Did you want to see? Yeah. He went. He healed him. Well, then everybody's asking, well, how can you see? Are you sure you're the one who was blind? You weren't faking it? Well, they went to his parents was he the one who's blind? Yes, he's been blind since birth. Well, how did he get blind? Ask him. He's an adult. How was he able to see? Ask him. So they did. He said, this Christ came up, this Jesus came up and put mud on my eyes and told me to go wash in the pool, and I did, and I could see.
Amen.
So they took him to the Pharisees, because they were the heads of the temple, so to speak. The head religious people. Well, you couldn't have got saved from this. You couldn't have got healed from this guy because he has to be a sinner. He did this on the Sabbath. You couldn't have got healed from a good look. I don't know what you believe, and I don't know what you think. If you think he's a sinner, all I know is that this guy healed him. Now, if you think a sinner can heal people, that's what happened. But we know the scripture. Well, but if he's not a sinner and he healed you, then why are you doing on the Sabbath? What, do you want to be his disciples and come follow him? Let's go ask him. They kicked him out of the temple. They didn't want to accept him. And Christ heard about it. One said Christ heard about it. John 9, 35 through 39. And Jesus heard that they had cast him out. And when he had found him, he went looking for him. Come on, up till now, he hadn't done the sin or go and sin no more, none of that. He just sent him off, he healed him. When he had found him, he said unto him, dost thou believe on the Son of God? And he said, Lord, who is he? Who is he, Lord, that I might believe? And he said, thou hast both seen him, and it is he that talketh to thee. And the man told him, he said, Lord, I believe. And he worshipped him. And Jesus said, for judgment I am come into this world, that they which see not might see. That they which see might be made blind. Jesus came looking for him. Why? First, to heal him. He started the ball rolling. He set the change in motion that's going to turn this guy's whole mind around. He let things, but why does this bad thing happen? Sometimes the Lord's trying to get hold of you. He set things in motion that let this guy's whole life be turned around. Then the guy, he come back and found him later. Come back to him. Now, you want to live for me? Do you believe it? Well, who do I need to believe in? Me, believe in me. This is what it's all about. Well, yeah, I believe. Hey, salvation. Jesus came looking for him. That man on his own, he didn't know how to get salvation. Come on, we got this thing in our mind that because our mind knows what's needed, that we know how to get it. There's more to it than going through these motions. How about Paul? Paul was religious. He described himself as the Pharisee of the Pharisees. I'm the most religious thing there is. I'm the strictest. I know all the rules. I know how everything's done. And when he heard about Christ, did he hear about? Oh yeah, he heard about him. And he heard what these people were preaching. He called them Christians. He knew what they were preaching. And the problem was they were digging under his skin. Because they were preaching, you can't just go through your motions, Paul. You got to live it. It's got to be in the heart. And it really burned him up. They're criticizing me, and I know it all. He was going out of his way to get permission to kill him. Get him killed. It really annoyed him. Because he knew what they were saying was right. Down underneath, he knew they're telling you got to live it, Paul. It's got to be real. It's got to be real. And Jesus came looking for him. Come on, Jesus came looking for him. He wasn't out hunting for Christ. Christ came looking for him, and he's out there on Damascus Road, and this bright light shines, stops him, made him blind. Goes right down on his knees. He couldn't see, nothing, couldn't go nowhere. He had journeyed, he came near Damascus, and suddenly there shined about him a light from heaven. And he fell to earth, and a voice said to him, he heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me, Saul? He said, who art thou? Who's talking to me? Who are you? And the Lord said, I'm Jesus who thou persecutest. I'm the one you're after. It's hard for you to kick against the truth, isn't it, Paul? Come on. You know what you need, Paul. You know what's right. And Paul broke down. And he gave up and he gave in. And he submitted it over. And he he trembling and astonished said, Lord, what will you have me to do? And the Lord said, arise, go into the city, and it'll be told you. Well, Jesus comes looking for us. That doesn't mean we can't be seeking him. But we got to be putting ourselves in a place and getting our heart prepared. When he offers it to us, we're ready to take it. Because you can't just go declare, I'm a Christian. Why? I just decided I was today. He's got to talk to your heart. Because he's looking for that complete submission, that complete surrender to him, that giving up of self. That's what he's looking for. And it isn't something we decide. It's something when he talks to our heart that, Lord, I'm going to give it to you. For some people, it's an emotional moment. For some people, it's not. Now, I remember talking one time, a preacher talked about a man standing back in his seat. He said he knew the man was under conviction. God was talking to his heart. Altar call came. Man got up, walked about halfway down the aisle. I got it. Turned around, walked back to his seat. All it takes is submission. It's not some big show. There's no formula you got to go through. But you got to hear the call from God. This is not a, well, I'll be a Christian today, because then you got what we got out in the world. A whole lot of them have decided to be a Christian. There's no change. There's nothing happened in their life. The witness isn't there. For one, what you're saying will go along with what the Scripture teaches. You wouldn't be advocating anything political or otherwise against the Scripture. Come on. You're not going to, whether you have friends who are involved and caught up in whatever, you're still not going to be able to go along with it and accept it. You know what's right. And if God shows you that's wrong, your message is going to be, God's not happy with that. Come to God. Come to Jesus. He can help you. He can heal you. He can fix you. Yeah, you're caught up in something, you've got a problem, but he can fix that. He can do what needs to be done. See, instead of fixing the problem, he'll just fix you. Then the problem can be dealt with. He'll make the problem something he can do whatever he needs to with, because he fixed you. The problem is we don't want to be found. Well, come on, that's where we're at. Jesus came looking for me. Then we turn around and sing the triumph. He found me. He found me, and if he really did, it's a big deal. If he really did, it's a big deal, and we are really thankful he came looking, because we understand now. He found me. He came and offered it to me right when I most needed it, and I was able to. And he found me. He rescued me. It's not a just, think I'll be a Christian today. I'll dress like this and act like this. And no, because why? When you're a Christian, when you really give it over to God, the trial's going to come. The tribulation's going to come. The hurt's going to come. The temptations are going to come. Come on. The opportunities and offers for the good things that you really, really want to do or really would have enjoyed that will now hinder your soul, they're going to come. And now we're going to find out what you made of. Did you really get found? Has he found us? If not, we need to stop and we need to examine ourselves. Make sure he's really found us. Make sure we have allowed ourselves to be found. Because he's been faithful. And if you're praying and seeking and really with an honest heart want what he has, he'll help you get it. But he knows the heart. And he knows when we're just going through the motions and when we're really real. As he found us. See, after studying this week, Sister Alex's favorite song means a lot more to me now. He came looking for me, and he found me. He gave me an opportunity, and he made sure. And I'm human just like everybody else. He had to come more than once. Well, what if I have a problem and I step out and I commit a sin? Step right back up. Well, I don't want to live like that. I'm not going to make this my life. I'm not giving this up that easy. I messed up. Well, Paul said, because sin easily besets us. But we got to step right up. We got an advocate. Keep right on going. Don't back up and stop and let it take us over. Don't let us kill us. Step up, Father. I don't want to live like this. You offer me something. I'm not walking away from it. I screwed up. Help me. Keep going. Get me back on track. Let him find us.